Well, I'm here. We're doing this. If you don't already know this and you are new here, welcome. My name is Rachel. I love cookies. I eat them every single night. Is that healthy? Probably not. Do I do it? Yes. Yes, I do. So when I saw that Tasty had released a new video where they compared the recipes of a 2-minute cookie to a 2-hour cookie to a 2-day cookie, I was like, I need to test it. I want to see the 2-minute cookie versus the 2-day cookie. 2-hour cookies, just like that's the normal everyday cookie. I've done those before. I want to have them side by side after they've been done baking and just compare and contrast like the amount of effort that goes into each cookie versus the actual taste at the end. Like, is it chewy? Is it crisp? How chocolatey is it? These are the hard-hitting questions that I signed up for on the internet. So get comfortable. We're gonna be making some cookies. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Click on the subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on new videos here every single Saturday. And without further ado, let's get into some cookie making. So we are gonna start with the 2-day cookie. 2 days. We're gonna make that dough first because it's gonna take the most time. And when it's all done and it's ready to bake, we'll make the 2-minute one. I like screenshot the recipe so I'd have it in front of me. We're gonna start by making toffee. Toffee, cookies, chocolate chips. Really can't go wrong with any of those things. I'm just turning on my little camera here so you guys can see what I'm working with. And there are 3 main components that we are going to need for this toffee recipe. We're gonna be starting with some butter because anything good starts with butter, obviously. Number 2 is some brown sugar. And number 3, some kosher salt. And basically all I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna combine it all together. We're gonna mix it up for about 10 to 15 minutes or so until it hits a certain temperature. I think it is 290 degrees Fahrenheit. And once it's entirely ready, we are going to spread everything out onto a baking sheet, get it all smoothed out, and then pop it into the freezer so it becomes nice and hard. Right now the toffee is in the freezer because I'm pretty sure I burned it. So I want to taste test it first before I incorporate it into the rest of the ingredients. Otherwise I will redo that batch. Now on to the cookie recipe. So the first thing they wanted me to do is to create a brown butter. So I just took a bunch of butter, put it on the stove until it melted down and created this nice, rich, nutty kind of a color to it. And then they wanted me to add water back in because all the water evaporated, so we need to add that back in apparently. And dropped 1 ice cube in. Be careful, this does froth and bubble all over the place. And then another 3 ice cubes just so everything cools down. It's not going to cook the flour and burn the sugars and all that kind of stuff. So done all that, got it all done. And now we need, of course, big bowl, adding some brown sugar, granulated sugar, espresso powder, salt, and baking soda. So far this step is the most like cookie-like element of this entire recipe. The toffee threw me off. I was not prepared for it to burn. I mean, now I'm just assuming it's burnt. I don't actually know that, but I just assume. And now we're going to pour in the brown butter, mix that all together. So that's what my batter is looking like thus far. So we're gonna put this to the side and we're gonna go on to some eggs, mix it in with a little vanilla, and then we're gonna pour it back into the batter. This is such a giant whisk for such a small bowl. I could have gotten like a fork, but this was right here. All right, let's pour in the egg mixture, and then I just have to whisk it until it's glossy and smooth. Just like how I want my hair to be, glossy and smooth. Ignore it right now, it's not either of those things. Oh, we finally had success with the toffee, by the way. Also worth noting that we took this out at 280 degrees versus 290, so just a little bit of a difference there in terms of temperature, but the color looked right. Freezing that up, and we'll go on to adding the flour, and they want you to fold it in with a rubber spatula until it's all incorporated and you can't see any like streakiness of flour, you know? So I'm gonna do that a little bit at a time. This is so soothing, just seeing it like fold over and you see all the ripples and how like golden it is versus normal cookies. I'm excited. And then what I think I want to do for this recipe is I'm actually going to split it this time because I've done a recipe from BuzzFeed and they had like toffee pieces in it and it wasn't my favorite. And I'm gonna do part of the recipe with the toffee and the chocolate chips, like the normal recipe, the way they did it. And then I'm gonna do half the exact same way except without the toffee. Just see if it tastes different, if it's something that appeals more to me and like my palate. You know, everyone's different. Not everyone loves toffee, okay? I just wanna see if it tastes just as good without it. Plus that was a whole step and like I messed it up the first time. I mean, if I can save you some work, I'm gonna do that. Look at that batter. Oh, I'm excited. We're just gonna dump some of that batter in. I should have put the chocolate chips in first and then split it. Oh well, whatever. Just made myself more work, but it's fine. So I think there's like multiple levels to the chocolate too, because of course it is. As long as I don't have to try and toffee it, we're good. Oh right, this one didn't use the chocolate chips, the normal chocolate chips. They needed chunks of chocolate, which we have right here. Chopped up a bunch of chocolate, and I guess just to make it a little bit more rustic looking, you know? Like you really put effort into these cookies, which you did, by the way. So we're gonna get half the chocolate into batter one, and all the little dust. Alvin said the little dust is important. Batter number two. Ooh, a few escaped onto the cutting board. It's mine. So I'm gonna leave this one unmixed for now until the toffee is ready. Put this to the side because I don't want to overmix it. So now I'm gonna scoop the just chocolate chip recipe, and they want me to use an ice cream scoop because, you know, gotta make big cookies for this. Go big or go home. All right, Tasty? You want big cookies? I will give you baseball-sized cookies. Gem of a cookie. These are so big. These are such big cookies. I personally prefer something a little bit smaller, but like, I think it's because I like to have multiple cookies. No, this one's not big enough. I'm trying to make them all as like even as possible too, because that's gonna be important in the cooking process. I was gonna say, I don't even make meatballs this big, but I feel like some people do. Do you make big meatballs or small meatballs for like spaghetti and meatballs? Let me know, let me know in the comments. This is gonna be a little bit small. I'm gonna borrow from this one. There we go, there we go. I didn't take too much, just a little bit. 6, I think that's exactly half the recipe. So I'm gonna go and stick these in the freezer where they just need to firm up. And then I think I have to put them in a bag for 48 hours and then we're good to go. Put in the cookies and switch out the toffee. All right, we have toffee. Looks good too. It looks good. Solid toffee, nice, rich, like caramelly color. I guess toffee colored. Caramel, something different, Rachel. Now I get to do the fun part. If you enjoy breaking things, I'm gonna stick these all into a bag and then pound out my frustration. This one's for my SD card constantly being full. My battery always dying on me. I'm probably gonna put that on silent because no one wants to hear that in their headphones. All right, trying to make them into like manageable size chunks. I feel like that's pretty good. Oh, it smells so good. You love toffee. It smells amazing. I'm excited. This is much better than my first batch. Oh, I shouldn't have put all of that in since I only did half of the recipe. Rachel! It's okay, I'll save it. Just gonna scoop some of that out. Save that for something else. All right, that's I took out about half. Now we're just gonna combine as before, get it all incorporated into those ice cream scoop ball things. This recipe, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. That is what the dough is looking like. Oh, that's looking amazing. Reusing my toffee tray. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments before you watch the rest of the video. Which batch is gonna be the best, do you think? Is it the toffee chocolate, the chocolate, or the 2-minute cookie? Inquiring minds need to know. They say that putting them in the freezer for 48 hours are going to make them just combine better. The ingredients are going to meld together and you're just gonna get a more rich, flavorful cookie, which I mean, no one's mad at. And I keep my cookies in the freezer. That's just where they live. And I always have delicious cookies. And they've been in there for more than 48 hours. We have our second batch. I'm gonna go stick these into the freezer. It's so weird. I just made cookies and I can't eat them. It just feels weird to be like, okay, I'm done. Now these go in the freezer. And through the magic of editing, it is now 2 days later, is now Wednesday, which means nothing to you, but I did film on Monday. And the timing could not be more perfect. We are ready to do these 2-minute cookies. I actually just baked up the 2-day cookies, took them out of the freezer after they had like a chance to like meld, get all those flavors together. And I took 2 of each, 2 toffee, 2 non-toffee, popped them in the oven. I've sprinkled a little bit of the flaky sea salt on top. Oh, guys, they look like perfection. They smell like perfection. I'm stoked. So they're just sitting there, they're cooling off. So by the time we are done making this, if it takes 2 minutes. They should both be ready to eat. I wish I could say that I timed this on purpose, but I didn't. The 2-minute cookie is basically like a single serve cookie. So there's smaller proportions. You pop it in the microwave. It's great if you have a sweet tooth and you just want like a little bit of chocolate, and you know yourself that if you make the full batch of cookies, you'll eat them all. So this is a little bit of a scaled back version. It is obviously going to taste different, but I'm just kind of curious based on the fact that it is smaller scale. It should be much easier than the 2-day one. It's not gonna have that same golden complexion to complexion. Wow, am I a beauty guru or what? It's gonna be entirely different for this cookie, but if you got a sweet tooth and you have 2 minutes, but you don't have 2 days, maybe this is worth it. So let's get going on this recipe. So the first thing I need to do is I need to take a 8-inch plate, something that's gonna fit in a microwave, and we need to butter it up. So let's do that. This is the plate where we're gonna be baking the cookie on, microwaving the cookie, if you will. So we wanna make sure that it's not gonna stick to the plate. And now we have a little bowl, and we are going to be combining the other ingredients. Pull up the recipe here. So we're gonna start with the butter, sugar, and vanilla and whisk it together first. You can see again, these are much smaller batches. You want all the butter and the brown sugar to kind of meld together as one. Beautiful. So this right here is 2 tablespoons of a whisked up egg. So the only thing I don't love about this recipe is that you basically split 1 egg in half. So if this is good, what I would do is I would double this recipe so you end up using 1 egg total, and then split the dough in half, put half in the fridge for the next time like a craving comes around, and then bake up the other half. Otherwise it just feels weird to like put half an egg in the fridge. Not wasting that. Pour that in. I'm gonna call it already. This is taking way longer than 2 minutes. I'm not even including how long it took to like put together the ingredients. And yes, I'm like talking through what I'm doing or whatever, but like how on earth? Oh, it takes 7 minutes. Sorry. The cook time is 2 minutes. The total time is 7 minutes. BuzzFeed. It's not a 2-minute cookie because it only cooks for 2 minutes. Otherwise, what would the 2-day cookie be? An 18-minute cookie? Come on. Come on. I get it. They were looking for consistency. 2-day, 2-hour, 2-minute. I get it. Now we're gonna add the flour and the salt. Toss all that in, and you just want to fold it so it's going to be incorporated. You do not want this dough to be overmixed. I mean, you don't want really any cookie dough to be overmixed, but I feel like a microwave one in particular, I feel like that could go south real fast. It's a little and small. Little baby cookie. Okay, that is looking like some serious cookie dough right there. I'm loving it. Like McDonald's. Now you will note I have 2 separate containers of chocolate chips. We have 5 tablespoons of chocolate chips and half a tablespoon of chocolate chips because they want you to put these all into the batter and then sprinkle these on top. I guess for decoration. Make it look extra cookie-like. So that's what we're gonna do. Oh, love that. Look how good she's looking. Look at that. Ooh. I'm excited. Okay, now they want you to scoop this mound to a giant ball in the center of the plate. I'm gonna get a spoon for this. Like normally I just use my hands, but this feels like a little bit of a stickier dough. Like it's a bit thinner than a normal cookie dough that I would put in the oven. So I kind of want to use a spoon for this. That is a giant cookie. I mean, if you say so, tasty. If it's there, I will eat it. And I feel like Alvin said something specific about the placement of the chocolate chips. So I need to pull up the video again because they don't explain it. They said to keep all of the chocolate chips really close together. He has parchment paper. Did I miss that? Did it say parchment paper and I just totally didn't see that? No, it says grease the microwave safe plate with butter. It said nothing about parchment paper. Well, it's already on the plate, so. But seriously, like my cookie is so much larger, I feel like, than Alvin's. So we're just going to dot them all on. He said to keep the cookie, the chocolate chips really, really close together, kind of clump them, because as the cookie cooks, the chocolate chips will all spread apart. This feels like the best art class I've ever done. Why was chocolate chip cookie decorating not one of my classes in elementary school? So this is what the cookie looks like as of right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this into the microwave for 2 minutes. I need to check and make sure it's at full power because that can drastically change things. It says 1.5 minutes. Microwave until the cookie is dry on top and springs back when lightly pressed in the center. About 1.5 minutes. So not even 2 minutes. It says cook time is 2 minutes, and then in the actual instructions it says 1.5 minutes. Tasty, you gotta make up your mind. The parchment paper, is it not? Is it 1.5 minutes? Is it 7 minutes? Is it 2 minutes? I don't know. Okay, bye little cookie. I hope you end up being delicious. I'm so scared for my cookie. I don't know why it feels so much more intense when it's in a microwave. Okay, while this is cooking, I'm gonna get out the rest of the cookies. We're gonna examine them. We're gonna do taste tests. I'm so excited. I've waited 2 days for this. I had to zoom you in so we can fully experience this together. So let's start with the 2-minute cookie. We can see it has a very pale, almost vanilla-like look to it. It feels a little bit spongy, more cake-like almost, and it's gigantic. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the size of my head, and I don't think it would fall off this plate either. Look at that. I've always wanted to eat a cookie the size of my head. Lots of chocolate chips. I love the idea of the chocolate chips on top. They kind of more evenly dispersed once the cookie kind of melted out. But let's take a little chunk here. I'm gonna like pizza slice it. And then let's take out a little corner there. You can see it's still quite soft, which is nice. Quite hot, but not too hot to touch, and I'm not going to stop. It is a little bit on the crumbly side, but it's so moist, like it is like coming apart really easily, but not in like a super flaky way. So let's try a bite of this. It tastes like a cookie. Very soft. It's got a lot of chocolate to it, like a lot. I feel like it's missing that caramelization that happens in the oven. That's something I'm not getting that flavor of. But in terms of like, if you are hankering for a cookie and you just really are craving one, I mean, this does the job. Well, it's still really good. That was really good. So let's move on to the stars of the show, or at least the ones that took me the most work to make. I have 2 cookies in front of me right here. We have the one that has the toffee in it and also the one that does not. But you can see all of that texture, all that crackling, the nice golden brown complexion to it. It has the really nice flaky sea salt on top, tons of chocolate chips, tons of texture to it, and it looks really, really chewy too, but it's got the nice crisp golden edges. Like this one right here, it looks perfect. Full on bragging moment, this is a perfect cookie. It belongs in a commercial. So I'm gonna eat it. So first of all, let's break it in half. Really see, oh, I couldn't get better than that. That was a 10 out of 10. Super chewy, super delicious looking. This is the one with the toffee pieces in it. By the way, who let me keep that bag of toffee? Was it you? Did you allow it? Because I've been like demolishing it. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Wow. I have no words. I have no words. The toffee has a nice bite to it. It's kind of like the inside of a Score bar. You know, that sort of, not chewy like a Werther's type toffee candy caramel type thing, but it's much chewier than that. It breaks apart a lot easier. It's much more fudge-like in consistency almost, but it's holding its texture a lot more. It's not really gooey once you let the chocolate and the cookie and everything cool down, but the chocolate chips are still super gooey. You got the crunch of the outside, the chewiness of the inside, and then the flaky sea salt on top just adds this like extra like to the cookie and just makes it perfect. Oh, I didn't think I'd like the toffee one as much as I do. This could be trouble. Let's go on to the non-toffee one. This is more of a traditionalist's cookie. It's just got the chocolate chips or chocolate chunks, I guess. It does have brown butter. It's a little fancier with the flaky sea salt, but it doesn't have the toffee in it, which I think makes it a little bit different, a little edgier, if you will. I feel like chocolate chip cookies are pretty wholesome, but toffee just adds a little kick to it, you know? So let's break apart this bad boy. Ooh. Beautiful. You can see that the chocolate is still really runny. It's not fully solidified because it is in chocolate chunk form. I feel like the Chip-Its would have solidified a lot quicker after the cookie cooled. I'm taking the bigger half. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Oh man, am I gonna have to spend 2 days to make cookies now? Oh, this is hard. I feel like the brown butter while you don't see it necessarily, it really shines through in this recipe. You get this richer butteriness to the cookie than you would normally. And the mixture of the toffee and the chocolate chunks or not toffee chunks, the size of the cookie, the way that it was cooked down so that it was nice and soft in the middle and crispy on the outside, but not like so like crumbly on the outside, just kind of chewy. It really is a good cookie. But you know what, Alvin? I gotta hand it to you. This was still not bad. If you had, like, I would say 10 minutes. Like, give yourself 10 minutes to do this. This is not a 2-minute cookie. Look at my hands, by the way. Like, what kind of a monster am I? I'm a cookie monster. I'm a cookie monster. It was still good. It's missing a lot of the depth of flavor that you get from the other cookies, but clearly those ones take a lot of time. The toffee, like I burned it the first time. And brown butter, I've done it before, but I don't do it often. And the first time I did it, it wasn't as good. So it does take a little bit of practice there as well. If you have a weekend and you want to impress your friends, if you want to make a nice, delicious batch that you can pop in the freezer and then pull one out at a time, it's great if you don't have any self-control. Speaking from experience here, I'm just saying. Wait, hang on. Chris is gonna try these cookies now.
But which one is which?
Oh no!
Which one was made in a microwave, he wondered. Try the microwave one first.
What do you think?
Wait, it's bad, but it's better than I expected.
I know, right?
Yeah.
7 minutes.
It just tastes like chocolate chips. It's not a cookie, but whatever it is, it's all right. I don't want any more, but it's fine.
Okay, so hold on. There are two different kinds here.
Yeah, I want the toffee one.
Here's a good toffee. Make sure you get the outside and the inside and the toffee with it. Just waiting over here, anticipating his response.
Yeah, that's very good. It's crispier than I like a cookie on the outside.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but very good.
It's good, right?
Let me try the non-toffee one. Is that this one? I prefer the one with the toffee.
Yeah?
It's better. Yeah. I could have one of those and be happy.
Yeah.
Like that's, I mean, it's big.
It's a giant cookie.
Yeah. But I only want one. It's very rich. It's good, though.
So I was going to say, like, because it made about 13 cookies, and because you have to freeze them anyway, that's like 2 weeks of cookies if you don't share. This is my life I'm talking about. Okay, so vote for the toffee then.
Yeah, toffee one.
All right. Leave me a comment down below. Are we voting 2-minute cookie, 10-minute cookie, or the 2-day cookie? Let me know in the comments what you vote for. And if you make them, make sure you tag me. I want to know if you tried this recipe because you saw this video, because you saw Alvin's video. Let me know if there are any alterations or things you've done to the cookies as well, because you guys know I'm a cookie monster. Look at my hands. It's proof. Thank you so much again for watching, for subscribing, for thumbs upping, leaving me comments. Check out these videos on the side if you like these tasty tested type videos. I've done full playlists for you guys, so you can check that out down here. And that is everything. I hope you guys are having an awesome, awesome weekend, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you all. Mwah.